Hello. I know I look awful. I mean, really, really awful. This is post sunbathing, still in tanning oil, post 2 workouts. I need to take a shower. It's 2:30 in the morning, and I need to go to bed. But I was watching a video on YouTube. Actually, I watched two very inspirational videos. One by Ceramic Heart 150 and one by Junk in the Trunk, Amber and Nicole. Where they're both like getting set and determined to do this now, and they're going to be doing videos. And then I watched a video by another friend, and the third video really called to me, and I feel like I just need to speak. And I'm not going to post it as a video response because I don't want to flood her with people and comments and videos and things, because I think at this point it would be overwhelming. But she was talking about why does she continue to act like the people who she sees in the drive-thru who are like really, really obese, and they continue to just buy all this horrible food and continue to do this to themselves. And like, she doesn't want to be that person, but she keeps acting like that person, and then, keeps not losing weight and is like surprised, like, how can... What she said was really profound to me, because it's how I felt when I started losing weight. How can I think every day about the cute outfits I want to wear and how I want my body to look and how, I want to do all these things in my life, and then continue to not take the action required in order to get there? And I thought I'd just speak to that. This is so unscripted. I had no plan on making a video, but so it might be difficult for me to gather my thoughts, but I really wanted to talk because every day I get dozens of messages saying, how do you find motivation? And I always cringe when I get those questions, not because I don't want to answer them, but because I don't know how to answer them, really. I mean, if you email me and say, what's your plan? Or what kind of exercises do you do? Or this is my weight and height, what kind of calories do you suggest? I mean, I can answer those questions because they're all relatively scientific or fact-based, and I can just relay information. But when I get a question, do you have any idea how to get more motivated? Do you have any suggestions for how to get back on track? It's like, or even just to start because you don't know where to start. It's like, I don't know what to say. Because I don't know where my motivation came from. I talked about briefly in Weight Loss Losers several weeks ago about how it was like finding confidence in one area of my life pointed me in another direction. But honestly, I think it all has to come down to self-talk. In the beginning of her video, she was saying, I don't want this, I don't want that. Greg talked about this in a video a while ago. Your brain doesn't hear the don't. It just hears the object. So, I don't want to be fat. Your brain hears I'm fat. You say, I don't want to be eating cheeseburgers all the time. Your brain hears eating cheeseburgers all the time. Your brain doesn't hear the don't. So, you have to change your self-talk to the affirmative, to the positive, to the I want to be thin. Or more than that, I am becoming thin. I am making the right choices. I am learning how to do this right. I am loving myself. I am finding ways to make it work no matter what the situation. I am pushing through this depression. I am pushing through this desire to not work out today. You have to change your self-talk to positivity, and it's really, really hard. But I have a couple suggestions, because getting your mind in the right place is the only way that you can move forward. Period. Because if your mind's in the wrong place, you can try anything or do anything for a little while until it fails, because ultimately you're setting yourself up for failure by not approaching it from the right mind space. Jason always talks about how weight loss is food, body, and mind. And the food is essential, but the food is not hard. Everybody here, with the exception of maybe a few who've never even given weight loss a thought before, knows what they need to do. Cut back the caloric intake, increase the healthy foods. There's no question. I mean, what to eat specifically, I suppose, is a more tender question, but we all know what we need to do. The body is not essential in the beginning. Working out is not essential in the beginning. I suggest you work out, but you don't have to. You can start with the food. You have to tackle one battle at a time, right, to win the war. The mind, however, is the one component that without it, the other two will fail. Food and body. So the mindset's the most important. So how do you self-talk how do I self-talk, I suppose is the question always, but I wanted to broaden it to how does one self-talk positively? Well, first of all, especially if you surround yourself with negative self-talk all the time, it would really behoove you to perhaps start a journal, a post-it system, an iPhone app, something that keeps track of every time you have a negative thought. And this is every sort of self-help, personal productivity, whatever book that's focusing on positivity will tell you this technique, which is to journal when you have the thoughts and really start to just observe, without criticism, without judgment, without getting all down on yourself because you're doing it. Start to really realize what thoughts you're having when. Track it however you need to. For me, it works best to have Post-its because I'm always at my desk, and if you can see around me, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Post-its right here, and they're all tracking different things, and that's just how I operate. For you, it may be something different because perhaps you're never in one place all the time. But find a way to, it could be a sentence, it could be a word, it could be a trigger, but whatever causes you to have the negative thoughts, right? And then write down what causes you to have the positive thoughts. Oh, I had a really good feeling. But if you catch yourself thinking a positive thought and immediately attacking it with all the negative thoughts, that is to be taken note of. And over a couple of days or even a couple of hours, you really start to see your patterns and what sorts of things you are telling yourself all the time, scripted, programmed into your way of being, that you perhaps don't even realize are there, but that are taking you away from going toward your goals and going toward those things which you really do want. Because it's self-sabotage in the most cruelest of ways because you don't even know you're doing it. So that's the first step, is to recognize the thoughts you're having. And then the second step is the second part of this equation, the second suggestion, is to then re-script, which takes a lot longer time. But once you realize what things trigger you to think negatively and what then negative thoughts you have, then you can start to re-script. When I was first getting out of debt, I picked the positive things. I'm moving into prosperity. I'm moving away from collector's calls. I'm moving, no, not even collector's calls. It was, I only get calls from people I love. And God, I can't think of any examples now. Unscripted videos, I hate it. You find the positive phrases, and then I stuck Post-its on my fridge, on my bathroom mirror, on my alarm clock, on my credit cards, in my wallet, on my dashboard in my car. I taped it onto the top of my laptop, so every time I opened my laptop, I saw one affirmation. On my laptop, it was, I only buy things in stores in real life. Positive. But that meant if I wanted to buy something, I had to get in the car and go somewhere and find it and price shop and compare because I don't want to drive to many places. But one of my biggest problems and addictions in shopping when I was spending all my money was online shopping. So I just had that affirmation there. And we have to do the same thing with food. Put it on your credit card. I'm making healthy decisions. And every time you reach for your debit card to go buy McDonald's or go buy Wendy's, you go, I'm making healthy decisions. Oh, crap, I forgot. But you have to be able to remind yourself the positive decisions and realities that you're creating around yourself because you're telling yourself they're realities. You have to be able to have those hit you in the face when you need it the most. So whether it's when you're looking in the mirror and every time you look in the mirror you think, God, I'm so fat. You need a big pink piece of construction paper on the top of that mirror that says, I am gorgeous and getting prettier every day. Or I am getting thinner every day. But something that speaks only to the positive talk. Not, you're not fat anymore, or you're not going to be fat. No, because your brain sees fat. You need to say the positive. Wherever you find yourself seeing those negative thoughts, whenever. I had, it was always right about now, 2, 3 in the morning when I would go on eBay, start buying shoes, and I had an alarm on my phone that went off every night at 1:45 in the morning, because I'm crazy, people. And it said, you only buy things in stores. That's all I had to say, because then immediately I caught myself before the behavior. It's all about life hacking. It's all about programming yourself to think the right way and putting it in your life at the time you need it most. That will help you to break past the mental barrier and be able to deal with the things that you can control, and you know how to schedule, and you know how to chart, and you know how to track food and exercise. This is the sort of shit that comes out of my brain at 2:45 in the morning. I will see you Thursday for weigh-in.